necessarily rewatched the game just yet. The look on his face, the confidence that he exudes in that final drive. And here's one thing. They make a play. He's not over there acting all wild, and no offense to old former coach Jake Bentley, or former player, now coach, but Jake
winding
Bentley running down the field. He was calm. Lenoris was calm. They made a play. He wasn't. It looked in his eyes, hey, next play. We haven't done anything yet.
That's the benefit of winning and not turning the ball over, because earlier in the season when they made a play or when they didn't make a play, everybody's like, he looks like he doesn't care. He's not into it.
Yeah.
So when you win and you do things, we give you the benefit of the doubt, and he deserves all of it right now.
Absolutely great night. Absolutely great night. A lot of fun. The environment was incredible. All right, Lauren and I have seen this. Jen, you're pretty good at this. Preston, I don't know if you would have noticed this. When South Carolina scored, did it register? There were some pictures and some posts, but we know how social media is. Some things can be a little fake. Did it register on the Richter scale? There was some posts yesterday, but we weren't sure if that was legitimate. Jen, I believe you were probably in the press box. The announcer said the press box was shaking.
Yeah, it was.
There were some posts. I don't know if anybody knows this to be legitimate, that when South Carolina scored that touchdown, the stadium went so crazy that it registered on the Richter scale.
I did see a seismograph.
Did you? Okay.
I saw it, but again, I'm not sure.
There's a meteorologist who, kind of records that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I did see also a couple of several posts of people showing their phone alerts and saying your environment you're in is too loud. It was giving them warning signs about how loud it was in there.
It was incredible. It was. There's no other way. We're gonna celebrate this morning. We're gonna throw drink in the drink again.
Don't run, Eli.
He's going all morning into the drink, and we're going to celebrate this one and talk about it. We get a text in that says, first time winning record in conference play in a while. First time since 2017, South Carolina registers an above 500 record in conference play. Awesome for that. 803-404-6100. Let's roll through the phone lines here. Joe, first in this morning, wants to weigh in. Joe, how you doing? What's on your mind? We got Joe. Hold on, Joe. There you go. All right, now you're with us.
Okay, my bad. So Saturday, man, I was checking the game out, right? Great game, great atmosphere, great everything. There's a lot of things that went on in that game, man, that I didn't expect. I'm gonna point out three things. The fact that Shane Beaman went for it on fourth down as many times that he did. Very unexpected. Shows you how much he trusts the offensive line. Second, didn't expect the defense to give up the points that it gave up. They looked human Saturday. Missouri came up with a great game plan to block. The third thing, did not expect Lenoris Sellers to put up 353 yards, 5 touchdowns, and close the game out with a minute left and made it look like he was a fifth-year senior. We saw something that we don't have to worry about for the rest of the season because we know that this guy can finish a game and just put on his shoulders. He carried the team Saturday. He answered the question for the defense. He answered the question for the fact that we couldn't run the ball up the middle. And he answered every question that everybody had to ask about him. Lenoris Sellers is that dude, and I look forward for the next 2 years to have this guy with that Gamecock C-block on his helmet, man.
It shows our defense where we can work on to get better, to improve. When Luther Burden caught that pass at the end of the game, I mean, I was gassed, man, because I did not expect that to happen. And then I was worried because we kept trying to run it up the middle, and I was like, man, we ain't doing nothing with this run. What are you doing, Dow? Come on, what are you doing? Like, I was hating on Dow Loggins for a minute. But once he got the drive going and Lenoris Sellers made magic, I mean, it was just, we're going to win this. And that run with Rocket Sanders, that was probably that reminded me of Marcus Lattimore if I ever seen it. And I'll hang up, and thanks for taking my call, and go Gamecocks.
Yeah, let's try not gloss over. Thank you for that, Will, because let's try not gloss over what Rocket Sanders did to get in the end zone, and we certainly won't. Let's wrap up segment one with the one and only Gamecock Larry. No better way to wrap up segment one. Gamecock Larry, how are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. One coach down, one to go. Look out, Dabo. Well, I'll tell you, that Rocket, he wasn't going to be denied. I thought he broke 5 tackles, but they say he only broke 4. But you can't stop Rocket all the game. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what to say. I really don't. I do the noise. I don't know. I just ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna sit back here and just listen. And I want to have somebody today call in and talk about Darrell, talk about Shane. Yeah, he went for it on fourth down. And sometimes he shouldn't. Then you know what O'Shane called a good day. Go Rocket, go Gamecocks. Love all y'all. Listen to you the rest of the day. And just love all y'all. Go Gamecocks.
Hey, Gamecock Larry, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Can you help us one time? We're going to grab his legs. Bill, grab his legs. I got his arms. Gamecock Larry, we're going to count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, what you want me to do? Well, you got the old man all fouled up. Go Gamecocks. Love all y'all. And you know what? Old Gamecocks didn't know. 90 years old. But I'm going to live. Good Lord promised me He going to let me be around 11 more years so I can say I'm 101.
My man.
Go Gamecocks.
That's right.
Is Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. All that demolition we had to do in the kitchen. Such a great experience with them. That's who we went back to when we needed to replace a cabinet and a bathroom upstairs. And now, in the middle of a master bath remodel. And of course, CHW Cabinetry is where we went. 3-520-6837. Be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation. All looking pretty good there out on the highways this morning. We welcome no accidents. We will also welcome no major slowdowns. 75 sunny today, 71 on Tuesday with some maybe evening showers, and then that kind of holds into Wednesday morning. A few morning showers, high of 75 on Wednesday. Then we get cooler for sure. Thursday, looking for a high of only 60, some wind in there as well. But then we're dropping into the 30s in the overnight hours. So we'll get to all that later, but we'll stick with what we have right now. Again, 75 for the high today, currently 46 on the early game.
Down in 3, 22 seconds remaining, 2 timeouts. Blitz by Missouri. Shuffle pass inside. Sanders inside the 10, 5. Rocket going for it. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Rocket Sanders from 15 yards out. The Gamecocks.
Whoa! Yeah!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, hell no, we just scored.
Oh my gosh. Shuffle pass.
Woo!
Listen to this crowd.
The Packers block it, and they're going to win.
The highs and lows of the weekend. From a touchdown in the final seconds to Jen's Bears having the...
I hate the Bears.
Sorry, we had that one secretly snuck in as highlight one.
That's awesome, because wait a minute. I remember hearing that, and I remember cussing a whole bunch.
The dreaded double thump. Boom, boom. Never want to hear it.
That was wow. Nonetheless, yeah, we'll play. We'll get back into that highlight because there's a lot to digest.
We have an in-depth analysis of it.
Todd and Tommy on the call there, and we'll ask you later. Did Tommy finally have enough of Are You Kidding Me? So we'll get into all of that. What a moment. What a game. If you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. Several of y'all weighing in. Glad my Gamecocks. This is William from Loudoun. Glad my Gamecocks wiped that smirky grin off of Dorkowitz's face.
Mm-hmm.
My smelly lucky quarter zip is still undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. This is another text from Vibe Check. All about Spinal Tap. This Vibe Check goes to 11.
Turn it up.
DJ weighs in. Yes, Missouri definitely should be a permanent opponent. Give me Kentucky, Georgia, and Missouri as permanent opponents. I don't know how they'll do the schedule. I know that, again, next year we'll flip-flop the schedule and go from there. Trips to Missouri, to Texas A&M, to LSU and Mississippi with Alabama, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky all coming here. 803-404-6100. Keep weighing in if you would like to see Missouri be more of a permanent opponent, or whatever I think it'll be next year, sometime around this time next year, or maybe it'll be this summer at the spring meetings. We'll learn the SEC's plan moving forward in 2026, Preston, for scheduling. You had left last week. Brad Crawford actually kind of suggested that the SEC, if all these teams keep beating up on each other, much like what we saw this weekend, if all these teams keep beating up on each other, the SEC might try to go to a 7-game schedule so that they don't play each other quite as much. I understand where he was going with that.
Never.
I understand where he was going with it, but I was like, ESPN or ABC is going to be like, no.
We're not going to do that.
No, you're not backtracking.
Oh, you want to take less product?
Yeah.
No.
So, but
I understand the logic, but no, that's not.
Yeah, I get it, and we'll get into a college football rundown, obviously. How about Billy Napier and Brian Kelly, and a lot to digest from the weekend. But let's get back to the South Carolina Missouri game. As you like to now do, favorite play.
Listen, when we win,
I don't know what to choose.
When we win, we got to figure out what is our favorite play. So 803-404-6100. What was your favorite play? There's so many to choose from in this game. There's so many moments that happen. And so I'm interested in hearing what folks' favorite play was. I have one that to tell the whole – I watched half of the game on Saturday night. I finished the game on Sunday morning.
Okay.
And on my favorite play,
But do you mean you were at the game Saturday night?
no, I just watched half of the game on Saturday and finished it on Sunday morning. I didn't finish the game on Saturday night. So when I woke up on Sunday morning to finish watching the game.
Wait, we need more context here.
The context is that I was not able to finish watching the game on Saturday night. So I had to wake up in the morning.
So you didn't know the final on Saturday night?
Did not. I did not know the final. Okay, so I woke up on Sunday morning early, watched the game. And my favorite play happened in the fourth quarter. The family was quiet. Everyone was asleep in the house. 2nd and 9. Brady Cook throws it to Luther Burden out in the flats. He's wide open. Nothing but green grass in front of him. And the eraser, Nick Emenwari, comes up in the open field. He breaks down. He sits in the chair. He throws his arm. He clubs him up. And he makes what I consider the most beautifulest open field tackle I may have ever seen in my life, Bill. I let out a, ah! And I almost woke the family up.
Oh, no.
I almost woke the family up early in the morning. So that tackle was my favorite play of the whole game. Obviously, me being a defensive guy, I'm biased. But it was a huge play. And all you saw was flashback to games where the player doesn't make that tackle. And then Luther's out in the flats and he's running for as long as play. And that particular play, even though they made a play after that, that particular play was my singular favorite play of that whole game.
Well, obviously, everybody, I'm gonna the easy call kind of would be the final touchdown, right? Like that's
and it's
easy
fair.
one.
It's fair.
That's it.
Sometimes you can't go above the obvious.
But I'm gonna go instead of that one, and I kind of just want to combine all of them. But I'm gonna go with 3rd and 10, 6:48 to go in the game. Lenore Sellers goes all Lenore Sellers, breaks out of a tackle, rolls back to his left and finds Brady Hunt. Old Brady Hunt just happened to be on the field. And it completes a 3rd and 10 because I really felt like that was played. The next one is where he hits Dalvon Campbell for the big one down the sideline that sets up South Carolina to then hit Michael Smith in that wild back and forth exchange that was taking place. But to go back, Lenore Sellers doing Lenore Sellers things, 3rd and 10. And this is after I never was really upset with Dow Loggins. And I liked the ultra-aggressive style that Shane Beamer had with going for it. I am not going to complain about Shane Beamer going for it. I thought those were great calls. I thought it showed confidence both in his offensive line, which I need to go back and again fact check myself on this. There was a sack given up, but again, it was wiped away by a holding downfield. So I believe we're now on 3 straight games without giving up a sack. But I loved going for it. It showed confidence in the offensive line. Tree Babalati, by the way, playing the entire game and playing well. Matter of fact, he's the one that crashes through Rocket Sanders at the very end. He's the one that got the best tackle on Rocket Sanders on that touchdown run as he kind of, I wouldn't say shoved him in the end zone. It was more of like he belly flopped him into the end zone. But that 3rd and 10 play that we're talking about, Sellers gets it and finds Brady Hunt for 11 yards. The 2 plays prior to that had probably been the most upset I'd been with Loggins through the game. Lenore Sellers 2-yard run, Rocket Sanders 2-yard run for a loss. And I was like, what are we doing here? Why? Because you could tell, Preston, to get a little nerdy on this.
Okay.
We'll come back and get a little nerdy. We'll get into the game. We got our STP ratings we're going to get into, and we'll get a little nerdy on some things that were occurring in this game. We'll get all football handsy and stuff and let you go. But, yeah, mine, keep sending yours in, 803-404-6100. Send in your favorite play. Send in whether you think Missouri should be a permanent on the schedule.
We got a lot firing on all cylinders this morning.
It's a fun morning. It really probably should be a statewide holiday, quite frankly. That way you could sleep in and enjoy all this. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for the men's clinic. Dr. Dan Balknight in the men's clinic. Look, they believe in providing you optimal health care. There is nothing generic about you. Why are you settling for general medical care? You need to be treated as an individual. Guys, as we get older, things start to change. Our health, not always where we want it to be. Maybe you're noticing some things. You're not recovering from workouts quite like you used to. Maybe you're losing hair and you're not real sure why. And these are things that are maybe a little sensitive to talk about. Well, guess what? At the men's clinic, they are there to talk to you in a safe, comfortable environment and give you a place to express your concerns about health issues you may be having. Call today and schedule an appointment. 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS. For more information, you can check them out on the web, themensclinicsc.com. Call Dr. Dan Balknight today. Line up an appointment, 803-875-MENS.
Highway 302 at Highway 6, we do have a report of an accident there, but that is the only one. No major slowdowns at this time. So we hope you have a good Monday morning out there. And as far as your forecast goes, not too bad for, at least today. 75 for the high with sunny skies. Tomorrow, some evening showers rolling in, a high of 71. Wednesday, some showers continuing into the morning and a high of 75. And then we take a kind of a significant jump downward. 60 will be our high on Thursday. It's going to be windy and cool. 58 on Friday, and with cool and breezy conditions. But the overnight lows are going to be actually in the upper 30s. So we'll kind of keep that in mind. But 46 currently on the early game.
It's 6:35 as we get you up and get you going here this morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. We'll get a little nerdy on some of the football stuff here because there was some things to get to in this game. Offensive line play, defensive line play. Seemed Missouri figured some stuff out, by the way. We'll get to Thorns, Buds, and Roses later. I'm hoping there's a particular play that Missouri made that is on the Thorns list. Do you know what play I'm referring to?
I don't, but it's not on the list.
Okay. All I'm going to say is if you don't like quarterbacks sliding, how do you feel about running back sliding? We'll let you simmer on that one for a second. Let's get out to the phone lines. Chris wants to weigh in this morning. Chris, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I am great. Yesterday was a hard work day. So you asked, when did you believe or when did you know? When they scored, the guy behind me was like, we're going to win. Our kicker's finally going to come through. We're going to overtime. And the guy beside him was like, no, we're winning. And I looked around, and we stood real close to one of the stairways down. There was nobody on the stairways. Nobody was leaving. And I was like, everybody believes. And the best play was absolutely the one he got away from and found Brady.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's 3rd and 10. That's 3rd and 10, yeah. and that's Sellers now, just Sellers magic, making things happen. And I'm with you. That's a good point. I really didn't. I guess I was so locked in. I didn't think about looking around to see if people were hitting the exits there after the Luther Burden touchdown catch. And Chris, we appreciate the phone call. Somebody also weighed in on the text line and said they thoroughly enjoyed after seeing the little dance celebration that Missouri had with the touchdown.
It was listen, I did not like it, but I will say I'm a supporter of big men and everything, and the big man doing the chicken dance in the end zone, it was cute. I'm not going to lie. I did like that, even though they were scoring.
803-404-6100. You can weigh in if you want to do so. We've got our stupid rankings, we're working to trademark this, STPs. And Jen, if you'll hit the music for us, we will gear up and let Preston break down the analytics of our stupid rankings.
Go stupid, go, go stupid, go, go. Tell me when to go, tell me when to go, tell me when to go, tell me when to go.
All right. Bill, these are the STP Plus analytics from the early game, patent pending. We're working on it. A lot of bids are coming in from ESPN and PFF Plus. They all want a piece of our analytics. But Bill, we've run into a snag.
Oh,
we've run into a snag on the STP rankings.
Well, it's early. We're learning.
We're working. And listen, these indicate trends. Maybe they're not absolute, though they've been absolute to this point. So STP stand for sacks, turnovers, and penalties. Okay, for sacks, we have South Carolina getting 2 sacks, giving up 1 sack.
It's got it listed.
We're looking for the 1 sack. I don't really remember it, and we had one that was negated by a holding penalty, but it still does have South Carolina for a -5 on the sacks. Now, here's where a discrepancy comes in, because all throughout this time, we have counted turnovers on downs as a turnover, and I still do count that. So when you add those in, South Carolina did have 3 turnovers on downs to lead the turnovers session 4-1. Missouri only had 1 turnover at the very end of the game,
right,
which you would count, which we can get into the nerdy part of why Missouri was hanging in the game, because they didn't turn the ball over. Penalties, both teams were essentially even, with 4 for South Carolina, 5 for Missouri. So total them up, South Carolina on the stupid ranking 10, Missouri 7. So Missouri won the STP battle in this particular game. Now, if we adjust it for turnovers on downs, we take away those 3 turnovers on down, we're back to 7 on 7. So the STP Plus ranking is still holding, Bill. We still have multiple bids out. People want to buy our analytics, but this is a way to analyze the game. If you think about it, when we've been doing this, our penalties have gone way down. Remember, when we first started this, we were talking 9,
right,
10, 8, hella penalties. Sacks, we were talking 4, 5. We had numbers up in the 12 and 13s as far as this whole ranking is concerned. So as we've watched South Carolina win games, it's not a coincidence that the STP rating has gone down dramatically over these times. So Missouri -3 as far as this is concerned, but that's sort of the layout for the STP rankings.
It does. There must have been a sack. I've yet to find it, but Johnny Walker, not the Scotch, is credited with a sack. But I've yet to find it actually listed on the play-by-play. But you're right about that, about South Carolina. Number one, the interception Lenora Sellers threw bad interception. He did a million great things, 5 touchdown passes, 353 yards. We talk about the scrambling and do that. Interception was one of those bugaboos that he has had throughout the season.
He did fumble. Didn't lose the fumble. He did also fumble one time.
So that's where they're crediting the sack. I've now gone back to see. That's what they've got as the sack.
Gotcha.
They said Sellers was sacked by Johnny Walker Jr. for a loss of 5. He fumbled and recovered it. So that's okay. That's where we're getting the sack now from that. But with all that being said, it's a situation there where South Carolina. And again, we're working on these. I liked the aggressive nature of Shane Beamer. Now, one of the going for it situations is there in the second half. I didn't realize until I kind of glanced at it that it was a 16-play drive that led them 16. I mean, to go back, Preston, we talked about this. I think it was the Alabama game where we talked about South Carolina having long drives and really not being able to put things away and get things accomplished like they want to. South Carolina in this game had a long, in the second quarter, a 10-play, 66-yard drive. Then you go again to the second half, and one of those where, again, they go for it is where they have a very long drive and are not able to finish it off down around the 17-yard line. 16 plays, 57 yards, starting at their 25 or our 25, going all the way, marching all the way down, taking up the end of the first quarter, into the second quarter, and you're not able to convert on a 4th and 1 at the 17.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you can look at it several ways. Is Shane gaining confidence in the offensive line? That's a possibility. Did he recognize that maybe the defense wasn't on their A game? That's another possibility. Did he understand that it was going to take some more points to end up winning that game? There's all types of reasons why he would go for it on 4th downs in those situations. Also, when you start going for it on 4th down, there's no real line to draw because you can't go for it this time and then not go for it this time, and you get stuck into this. Being a defensive guy, I am always, and probably more conservative football-wise, I'm always like, hey, let's punt it. Let's get back in our defense. But that's not always the right strategy. And so, also you could be showing that you have confidence in your defense, that your defense is going to stop them. So there's all types of ways to look at it. They were not successful a lot of the times, but it all worked out in the end for them.
Grizz weighs in. I agree with this. This is kind of a crazy, what if they'd have accomplished this kind of moment? You just think about how football games play out. He says, I think a super important play in a weird sort of way that helped South Carolina win was on the Burden touchdown, Luther Burden. Jalen Kilgore didn't make the tackle. Burden's able to slip away. Now, South Carolina had 3 timeouts, but basically the fact that he just kind of jogged on in, that he gets away from Kilgore, means that you've got all that time left to be able to go down the field and forward. I think it was 47 seconds there at the end that South Carolina goes down and scores.
I hadn't thought about that, but that's possibly true.
Yeah,
that is true. That's not possibly true. That is true.
Yeah, if he steps out of bounds or Kilgore makes that tackle, then you're talking about a minute 2 left that they probably could have run down and maybe scored with less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, and all signs point to they were going to just run that outside zone and probably score.
803.
That's an interesting point. Didn't consider that.
Yeah, thank you for that, Grizz. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. You're listening to the early game.
They say perfection is a journey, and that journey took us to Carolina Stone Craftsman, just outside Carolina in Columbia, that is, in Chapin, with all the renovations that we had done upstairs and now downstairs. We replaced our cabinetry. Well, of course, we needed countertops for that as well. So we went to Carolina Stone Craftsman. I've got to tell you, we were so impressed. Their showroom is fabulous. There's a new outdoor showroom that they're currently building for the outdoor stonescapes and things that they can do. But there was so much to choose from. They're very helpful. Every step of the process was great. And that's the reason, after our first experience with them, that is where we returned to Carolina Stone Craftsman. If you are in the market for countertops for your kitchen or bath, I do encourage you to reach out to Carolina Stone Craftsman. And of course, be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. Family owned and operated. Carolina Stone Craftsman, just beyond Columbia and Chapin and beyond your expectations. CarolinaStoneCraftsman.com.
They're working off the left hash mark. 2nd down and 3. 22 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts. Blitz by Missouri. Shuffle pass inside Sanders. Inside the 10. 5. Rocket going for it. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Rocket Sanders. From 15 yards out. The Gamecocks.
Whoa! Yeah!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, hell no, we just scored.
Oh my gosh, shuffle pass.
Woo!
Listen to this crowd.
I feel like I saw Tommy's top button just unbutton when he said that. I can't take it anymore. Shout out to Tommy Suggs, a legendarily clean cut, legendary even killed by the books. Just couldn't contain himself.
What is the movie? Is it Major League Baseball where he just leans over? I can't remember where they've been saying something, or maybe it's I can't now. Now you got me thinking of the movie where finally the one announcer gets tired of the other announcer. We're slightly picking on it. What a call there by Todd Ellis, and then the excitement. I mean, I still remember. I think we all remember the '94 game. I believe it's Bob Fulton and Tommy Suggs, and the call of over the top. Where I think Bob Fulton says, there's a flag on the play, and Tommy goes, "Who the hell cares?"
Great call. We did not get the patented launch him.
Yeah.
We didn't get a launch him, but he did get the rocket going in. So that was a tremendous call, and they were ready for the moment. Absolutely. And I think they met the moment of that, because if you weren't listening to it, you were watching it, and everybody was going through the same thing. Like, oh, he's going to score.
Yeah.
And that was, and he saw once he caught the ball, he was determined to get in there.
That was absolutely that run. When we have time, I think you get so caught up in 34-30, and some of you are weighing in. Yeah, we were talking about your favorite play of the game, and there's several. Yeah,
that's why I love this conversation, because there's so many you can pick from.
Because I'm with the co-pilot. I thought about this. Best play of the game, Missouri going for 2, making the Gamecocks have to score 6 to win. Would have they been as aggressive, knowing that they could kick a field goal to win by 2, 30-28? You know, would have you made some of the play calls, or would have you said, all right, we're at the 20, we're at the 15, we're in Alex Herrera range, instead of thinking we need to score to take the lead? I'm with him on that. And so I said there's so many plays in this game. Nick Harbor making plays, now starting to emerge as a legitimate weapon, something I never thought would have happened. Delvon Campbell coming out of the tunnel. Nowhere, totally forgotten man, making 2 massive plays in this game. Just so many small plays. You talked about the Nick Eamon-Worry.
Chop your feet. It's football position. Club your arms. Oh, it was beautiful.
But to go back to that, there will come a time and place we analyze that Rocket Sanders run and where that goes down in Gamecock history with incredible plays because of the effort required.
Yeah, I mean, there was once he got the shuffle pass and caught it and turned his shoulders upfield, you could pretty much decide he was not going to be denied.
803-404-6100. We'll keep talking about this in the next hour. I'll get to some text here in just a minute. Let's get out to Kevin, who wants to weigh in real quick. I think give a little shout-out to some 8-man football. Kevin, how you doing this morning?
Hey, great. How about yourself, guys?
Doing good.
Well.
Hey, it was an awesome day watching Gamecocks win on that Rocket Sanders touchdown, and immediately after that at 8 o'clock, the local 8-man homeschool team, the Pack Panthers, played for the 8-man national championship in Florida. They finished runner-up last year. This year they ended up going into overtime and ended up winning on a 2-point conversion as the game ended with Sean McNulty scoring that 2-point conversion. So they finished runner-up last year and basically won the national title this year. So that's an awesome opportunity for those kids.
Yeah, congratulations. It's great to hear, man. Appreciate the phone call. Awesome. Kudos to them. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. Let's get back to Andy real quick. Andy, got about a minute.
Hey, just 3 things, and I'll listen here. One, the officiating was kind of weird. It wasn't like LSU, but with the resetting of the clock, with them trying, they thought they had a touchdown, and then our first down, and then the measurement, it was just kind of weird. And 2, they had a great game plan. They were getting stuff out quick before our guys could get there. So I hope, Clemson wasn't watching that. I think, their offensive line was better than Clemson. I mean, so hopefully that'll be good. And just the atmosphere. My 10-year-old daughter was there, and it was just insane. So, I don't know what I'm setting her up for later in life. It was an awesome win. So go Cowboys.
Appreciate the phone call, Andy. Yeah, you're right. That noise on the Rocket Centers, I've been there. I've been there for Kimry's fade. I've been there for Derek Watson scoring against Florida. I've been there for the A. Sanders punt return. I don't know. There's other ones. The field goal kick. The last time South Carolina beat Missouri was loud in a rain game. We might have to get into a little bit of that with Jamie Bradford next hour. You're listening to the early game.
All right, y'all, we've been telling you all the time, it's time to stop waiting around. Get yourself together and call the folks at Integrated Media. The spring's passed, the summer's passed, the football season, only 2 weeks left. What are you doing? You need to call Integrated Media to get an outdoor setup ready. For Samsung Terrace TVs that can be waterproof, Sonos outdoor speakers for TV and music, or Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors. Or, my personal favorite, you can control all your devices from just one remote. So the time is coming. We got a couple of games left, bowl games, playoffs possibly. Who knows? Call the folks from Integrated Media. From home theater setup to adjusting your thermostat or monitoring your security system from your cell phone, Integrated Media is the company that you need to call. Call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or you can reach them online at integratedmediainc.com.
And as far as your forecast, or as far as your traffic is concerned, Hardin at Taylor Street. Do have a report of an accident there. Also, Highway 302 at Highway 6. And Sherwood Drive at Longs Pond Road. Also, you'll find a slowdown there. Yeah, the forecast is going to be a little ever-changing. Sunny, 75 today. Some evening showers tomorrow. And high of 71. Some morning showers on Wednesday. High of 75. The winds will be on the increase then Wednesday and Thursday for sure. 60 for the high on Thursday and Friday, 58. Again, Thursday and Friday, we're looking for overnight lows in the upper 30s. Right now, 46.
They're working off the left hash mark. 2nd down and 3. 22 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts. Blitz by Missouri. Shuffle pass inside. Sanders inside the 10. 5. Rocket going for it. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Rocket Sanders. From 15 yards out. The Gamecocks.
Whoa! Yeah!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, hell no, we just scored.
Oh my gosh. Shuffle pass.
Woo!
Listen to this crowd.
That was the call. I don't know if we can play that enough this morning. Obviously, a ton of highlights. Maybe we'll try and slip some more in there. But that was the call Saturday night. Todd and Tommy feel like Tommy only contained himself for as long as he could before he had to get in there with a woo. And then just exploded. It was South Carolina. You heard that stat also coming in there as we were playing it. That was correct. 3rd straight win over a AP top 25 team for South Carolina. First time in school history that has happened. And joining us now to discuss it as he does each and every Monday. Jamie, we thought about making you discuss Mike Tyson and Logan Paul, but well, thankfully South Carolina scored a touchdown with 15 seconds left, and we don't have to discuss that at all, or we can just completely ignore it, thankfully. So don't worry. We won't ask your hot take on that regarding that fight. We'll only focus on what was the fun of the weekend. A great day Saturday at Williams-Brice and a great victory.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it was something special. And, you know, this is one of those series that just is kind of strange. You know, Carolina's a better football team than they are. And I thought all along that on both lines of scrimmage, South Carolina just, you know, I didn't see any way for Missouri to really be able to handle them there. But Eli Drinkwitz continues to scheme up the Gamecocks. You know, sometimes you just have somebody's number. But this team's good enough to overcome that, and they certainly did. In an electric Williams-Brice Stadium on Saturday night. It was a fun game, and wow, it's still hard to believe all that unfolded in the fourth quarter.
All right.
Well, Jamie, we've been asking everybody what their favorite play from the situation, from the game was, and we've had a lot of different nominations. So we have to ask you, what was your favorite play of the game?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure the breadwinner's probably the last one. It was the same play they called in the Alabama game. Mine was right before that, the quarterback run with Lenoris to set all that up.
Nice.
I thought that was done perfectly, and I think that's what they thought was going on there. They were going to take him outside, and then there was Rocket Sanders underneath to be able to pitch it. I thought that was beautifully done by Coach Beamer and Coach Loggins and his staff. And obviously it worked because they won the game.
Yeah, I agree. And, again, I give a lot of credit to Dow Loggins. The way he's called the last few weeks, if we're being honest about it. We took him to task on this program. You got to give him his roses, his credit, where credit's due. He is called. We can nitpick this play, that play, should have done this, should have done that. Dow Loggins is calling some really good ball games. Speaking of play calling, I got to ask you, too. This is about the third text I got in on this. And now, Preston, you're the expert. Is it a shuttle pass, a shuffle pass or a shovel pass. Shovel.
This is a tough
shovel.
This is a tough one. This is tough one. I've heard every single variation of it, and I usually probably say all of them at the same time. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with shovel pass.
Okay.
I do not know if that's correct though.
Because it's like you're shoveling stuff.
Great observation, Jamie. What do you have on this?
Yeah, well, so I call it a shovel pass, but a shovel pass was initially for an underhand toss.
Okay.
So like if if it's overhand, right, exactly. And that was the initial, that was where shovel pass came from initially, was you would pitch basically like when you actually like a toss sweep, that's technically a shovel pass, right? Mm-hmm. But over the years, it kind of evolved. I've actually looked at this before because I've had the same question like 6 or 7 years ago when I was on ESPN, and I thought, and it was like July where you got nothing to talk about. So I thought, well, this is interesting. Let's go to Google, and we did, and that's where we discovered the truth behind all that. But the additional truth is you will not get in trouble for calling it any of them because there is no rule book, and as far as we know, there are no football police.
Okay, there we go. So
call it what you want.
Call it what you want. 803-404-6100.
Great question.
Yeah.
You get the show. Thank you.
We've had a couple.
Thank you.
Asking the question. Apparently, as they go around the water cooler today in workplace, want to make sure they're announcing it properly. 803-404-6100 if you want to send in a question. Justin sends in a question. I think this is a good question for the morning because we're all in a good mood and we've thrown Eli Drinkowitz in the drink. Mm-hmm. Justin weighs in and says, ask Jamie if you like the uniform combo as much as I did. I was in favor of it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
All look good when they win, don't they?
Hey, well, I love the all black and the white helmets anyway. So, like I said, I don't really care what they win or what they wear, but it sure looks sharp. Looks really good running into the end zone, too.
It does. That was at our tailgate. That was a big discussion there. A lot of people circled back to our segment last week on that. And thankfully, Jamie, we held off, but there was a few people who wanted me to text you during the tailgate. While you were tailgating, I know y'all had an event going, and I was like, no, we're not going to harass him right now. He'll probably just roll his eyes, put his phone back in the pocket if he gets a text message from me asking what uniform combo that we're thinking about on Saturday. But a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Jamie, in all seriousness, we've talked about it, the growth of Lenora Sellers. And
no doubt.
Almost exciting and scary, even though he's our guy, to think about what this guy will continue to grow into.
Yeah, he's right now, and I'll say it because I know there's going to be some people who are scared to say it because they don't think that he's earned that yet. But I'll say it. Right now, he's playing like the best quarterback in the league.
Oh, I took it a step further earlier. I said you could make the argument for the country.
Yeah, you can. There's and you're right. If you look around the nation, you look at the best quarterbacks. You look around this league and look at the best quarterbacks. I'm not so sure there's anybody out there right now that's doing the things that he's doing. And you mentioned earlier giving Dowell some credit for the offense and the play calling. How about the development of Lenora Sellers? Between him and Mike Shula, this guy is getting like 40 years of NFL experience or something kind of being taught to him. Now, there's a good and a bad of that. I mean, there's a guy that used to call plays around here who thought that he wrote the book in the NFL. That's not the case with these dudes, So he's just really – I don't think – they've never had a freshman quarterback as talented as Lenora Sellers at South Carolina. There's no doubt about that. And watching how far he's come in 10 games, and he's been banged up in there a little bit, he leads the team. He's calm, cool, and collected. He's tough. He's all the things that you want. During the week, he's the first one there and the last one to leave. If your quarterback is that guy, what's everybody else doing? South Carolina's got a chance with this kid, and as long as you got a quarterback in this league, you got a chance.
On this win streak, on this 4-game win streak, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did have another fumble. I think it's now 2 fumbles there during this stretch. But, yeah, you see a young man who's growing, and that's back-to-back games, by the way, of 70% completion percentage, 14 of 20 for 238 against Vanderbilt. Saturday night, 21 of 30 for 353. And you know what? Those numbers are even a little misleading because Preston, you can understand this being a football guy and an angry defensive lineman. And, Jamie, we understand this. Some of these incompletions are Lenore's getting out of the pocket and realizing nothing's there and just kind of zipping it out of bounds, throwing it away, Preston.
Yeah, that's a great point, and we'd have to look at that and maybe break that down and see where some of those are just throwaways, and we need to actually start accounting some of those things into statistics because an incompletion is better than the alternative, which would either be a sack or a loss of yardage. So some of those incompletions are actually pluses for the offense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's no doubt exactly right. And I think there was probably so you're talking about. I mean, it's pretty wild. 3 straight games over 450 yards of total offense as well for this team, and it's the Sellers-Sanders show right now in Columbia.
I just want to point this out again because I just looking at the number. This is just kind of surreal. We talk about watching players' growth and watching guys develop. First 4 games of the season, the first 4 games that he played, I should say the first 4 games he played in, Old Dominion, Kentucky, LSU, and Mississippi, he had 2 touchdown passes to 3 interceptions, did not have a game where he threw for more than 170 yards. The Alabama game, he finally looked healthy. He had come back. He obviously had the unfortunate fumbles, the unfortunate interception, and the unfortunate missed 2-point conversion, but he looked better in that one. And, again, since the Alabama game, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Oklahoma game he threw for 175 yards, but every other game has been for 238 yards or more, and then highlights it on Saturday, 353 yards. Did y'all know he was having that kind of game, or were y'all like me where it was after the game you realized he had that kind of passing game?
Well, I'll give you, and I know we got to go to break right now, but I'll give you 2 things, and we can come back to them. One, no, I didn't realize. Of course, he had a lot of those numbers on the last drive, so it jumped up quickly. But I didn't realize he was having that good of a game. The other thing was I thought by the end of the fourth quarter that Missouri had run for like 480 yards, but they actually only ran for 144. So there were 2 things based on how that game kind of played out, a couple of stats that really didn't equate when I went back and looked at it after the ball game.
803-404-6100 if you want to send in a thought or a text message. They are re-showing. They got the SEC network, the kind of not the replay of the game, but the whatever the morning show is. And they just showed that play again where he evades the sack, rolls back to his left and finds Brady Hunt. And watching it again on replay, it's an unbelievable play. I mean, the guy's got him around the shoulder pads, Preston, and is dragging him down. And Lenore stops, puts on the brakes. Defensive lineman keeps going, and then Lenoris goes the other direction. It's going to be fun. And, to take him look, we're not going to talk about it this week. We're going to have all next week to get into it. We're heading for what the state needs, for what we have been missing for over a decade. We're heading for an epic showdown between Clemson and South Carolina. Maybe playoff implications for both teams, maybe not.
Did y'all see that game? Did y'all see that game Saturday, the Pitt-Clemson game?
I did, yeah. Yeah, it almost caused me to miss the...
That was a terrible football game.
Mm-hmm. I've already talked to 2 Clemson fans who said South Carolina needs to settle it down or we're in big trouble.
Well, that game,
awful.
That game in 2 weeks. Look, I'll say this: Clemson's got Citadel, we got Wofford. They should be 9-2. We should be 8-3. By the way, just real quick, and you're right, we got about a minute. I saw somebody do a breakdown. We will find out today. We should find out today that game time. Somebody did a quick breakdown on it that I saw. It is likely, I would put a bet on it, that it will be the ABC noon game. I think the 3:30 and 7 o'clock slots have already, for ABC and ESPN, have already been allotted to SEC games. There's obviously 4 big SEC games that day for home teams, and Texas A&M, Alabama, Auburn. You get the point. I think there was 2 others, but anyway, I think the times have already been allotted. Where how the SEC does it with you're in the afternoon or the night window. So I saw some stuff yesterday indicating, and again, we'll know about 1 o'clock today what time that game will be. I would be willing to say ABC at noon. So we'll see. But that's going to be a lot of fun. And, shoot, I'll be honest, Preston, midweek we may go ahead and start ramping that one up.
Why not?
We may go ahead. So 803-404-6100. We'll get into some of this defensive play. As Jamie said, boy, if you're watching the game, you're like, man, Missouri's running for 300 yards on us. Oh, it was only 140-something, huh? All right, we'll talk about that. What happened there with Preston Thorne, Jamie Bradford, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It is a Monday morning edition of the early game. Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air, whereas we are heading towards the cooler months. And my question to you, is your heating and air unit ready to handle that? Or do you think you could have the oldest heating and air unit in the AAA Heating and Air service area? If you think you have the oldest HVAC unit, it's time for you to go and take advantage of their contest. That's right. Go to myoldair.com, complete the online entry form, and for every 100 entries, AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random. You heard that correctly. Go to myoldair.com, complete the online entry form, and AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random for every 100 entries. Just go again to myoldair.com. Contest is for a limited time only. Only residents in the AAA Heating and Air service area are eligible to enter. You can see the terms and rules on their website for a full list of the contest rules. So go to myoldair.com. If you think you've got the oldest heating and air unit in the Midlands, it could pay off for you. Also, call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500.
Hardin Street at Taylor Street, we do have a report of an accident there. Also, Highway 302 at Highway 6. I-20 eastbound at White Pond Road, an accident. And Sherwood Drive at Longs Pond, an accident as well. 75 for the high today. 71 tomorrow with some afternoon or evening showers. Those showers continue into Wednesday morning where we have a high of 75. Then the cooling trend starting on Thursday, a high of only 60. It's going to be windy and cool, kind of cool and breezy on Friday. But as we get into the around 60, upper 50s, the overnight lows are actually going to be in the upper 30s. So we'll keep that in mind to bundle up later in the week. Right now, 46 on the early game.
$7:21 as we roll along here on your Monday morning. Coming up after us today, Gamecocks Central and Tyler Head will be out at Firehouse Subs, 1214 Wilson Boulevard out in Newberry. You can go by and hang out, get yourself a sub sandwich. Firehouse Subs. I've been there a few weeks. Need to get back over there.
They just opened one on my side of town, so I'm good with it. Walking distance. I can get my steps in and just walk straight to Firehouse.
It's good. I just tell you that. It's worth it. So, but go by and see everybody today. Again, fun day to get out and be out and about, hanging out and enjoying not only what is, as if you've been listening to Jen, what might be it feels like the last good weather day of the week, as well as a Gamecock victory. Joining us as he does each and every Monday, Jamie Bradford. And well, I don't want to say it's negative. I don't want to be negative, but Preston, let's start with you. What did you see that Eli Drinkowitz did that allowed them to run the ball as effectively as it seemed that they did, especially in the second half? There was something at halftime that he saw that he made an adjustment.
He did like a lot of offensive coaches refuse to do, is he found something that works and he kept on doing it.
Yes, he did.
Most times offensive coaches find something that works and then they want to go and get cute and do something else. And Jamie, to your point, that's why it felt like it was 300 yards, because it was the same play to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. And I think the technical aspect, I think they found maybe a little bit of a weakness in Dylan Stewart and Kyle Kennard's game as far as playing those reach blocks on the edge, and they were just running the zone, and they just ran it very well. It's just a good football play, but what happens is most times offensive coaches are not patient enough to do that. They want to do something cute whenever the thing that they're doing is working. So kudos to Eli. It's tough for me to say that, but that's why it felt like it was so much, because it was just the same play being run over again and again and again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I totally agree with that. It was a numbers game too, Preston.
Right.
They found it in the numbers, and power run game, and they just continued to. And it really only happened in the second half, because they scored 24 points in the second half, and it felt like death by 1,000 cuts, and I thought, wow, I mean, this is, and they continued to, so they had split the two tailbacks all season long, Nate Newell and Marcus Carroll, who played for Sean Elliott at Georgia State. They were only one carry apart all year. And in the second half, I think Carroll had 2 carries in the entire game, and Noel had 27. And Noel, he's not a very big guy. He's like 5'9.5", like 185, 190 pounds. They just kept slipping him in there. But like when you go back and look at all the stats, it really isn't that big of a difference. They ran for 35 yards more than South Carolina did on the same number of carries virtually, but Carolina ran the ball well in the first half, and they did in the second half. But you saw that lead dissipating, and you just felt like, here we go again. And I think that's why it felt like 300 yards, but it was 144.
And to build on that, Clayton has been excellent this season in second half adjustments. But what happens is there's an adjustment he probably could have made to get the numbers game right, but what do you give up on the other backside? So while you're getting that death by 1,000 cuts, I'm sure he's thinking, okay, we're going to get a stop here eventually. We're outnumbered here. But if you make a drastic adjustment, and Eli's a good coach, and you open up something big on the backside, then you don't want to do that. So sometimes you just have to live with being in a mismatch situation.
Well,
I think you're 1,000% right on that, by the way. 1,000%. Bill, sorry.
Well, what I was going to say, Missouri is a good football team. I don't think that they've played to their potential this year. As a matter of fact, and you're right, Eli Drinkwitz is a very good offensive-minded football coach. You can make the case that he has not gotten the most out of his football team this year, while Shane Beamer has exceeded getting the most out of his team this year. That Missouri team, look, Luther Burden's a weapon. Brady Cook, I know he was banged up, is a good player. They've got a solid offensive line, and that brings me to the next point. We got a question coming in that asked about the pass rush and what you may have seen, Preston or Jamie, what y'all may have seen that they were able to do to kind of eliminate some of the Gamecock pass rush.
Two things they did. They played well. One, they played pretty well. And two, they helped them out schematically by doing a lot of max protect, keeping them more guys in.
Yep.
And using what they call a chip block with the running backs, getting a piece of the end before they either go out.
Specifically, the final touchdown to Luther Burden, they picked up. I think it was Bam Martin. No, it was T.J. Sanders was breaking through the line, and
so
somebody got him.
They did that very well. So they, again, like you just said, Eli Drink was a good offensive coach. They'll figure things out, and this is an SEC game. SEC minds going against each other. Clayton versus Eli. That happens. So they did a lot of things to neutralize that. And that also, before I give it to Jamie, that frustrates you as a defensive end when you're rushing the passer and you just feel that little gnat hit you on the shoulder. It just throws you off your game a little bit. So kudos to them for employing that strategy.
Yeah, I think the first thing you said, too, about playing well, I noticed that all game long. I'll make a couple quick points. One, the offensive line played incredibly well. They were disciplined. They're outside of the two false starts. I think the crowd did affect on that one drive. Outside of that, when it came to playing assignment football, they were excellent. They were excellent, and they had numbers, and that worked all game long. Number two, I think you can tell how confident they were in their offensive game plan, and this just kind of goes back to how good of a coach Eli is offensively, and whatever it is at South Carolina that kicks it into gear, or he understands, or he sees, and he just doesn't share those secrets. I don't know, but you can tell by how confident he was because they took the ball. They won the toss and they took the ball, and I thought that was very surprising. I was like, why would they take the football? I don't understand. Why would they not? And obviously, as the game went along, you could tell how confident they were in what they were doing offensively. Now, most of it didn't work until the second half, but they were very confident with their game plan.
No, I thought for sure. The reason that place was crazy. Getting in was insane. It was just a wild environment. Kudos to the administration. Kudos to the fan base. I continue to say what Ray Tanner and when Chance Miller was here and everybody that's a part of the game day environment, what they have done to create that environment. Look, I know there are other great environments in college football. South Carolina's not the only one. South Carolina's one of the when that place is rocking, as it was against Texas A&M, as it was on Saturday night. It is one of the three best environments in college football. I'm going to have some thorns. I got two little thorns I want to share in the next hour that I want fixed. I want fixed ASAP. But that environment, everything about it, the way they know how to keep the crowd energized with music, the way they use the lights. I'll even say probably play Sandstorm just a little bit more. That's not even a thorn that I have, but I'm telling you what they've done to keep people engaged, and kudos to the fans. Jamie, we had a caller bring it up earlier. When Luther Burden scored, you didn't see fans streaming towards the exits, throwing their hands up, and being like, we've lost. People stayed, and when Rocket Sanders ran in, that's probably one of the three loudest times I've ever been in that stadium and seen the excitement. We'll continue talking about that. We've given roses to Lenora Sellers and Dow Loggins. Might be a little time to give some roses to the offensive line and Lonnie Teasley. That's 3 straight games. They've given up 1 sack, and I know Saturday night running the ball was a little bit more difficult. We'll talk about that. Give Lonnie Teasley and the offensive line some roses and talk about Tree Babalade as well. You're listening to the early game.
Preston here for our friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. If it's a cracked windshield, that's no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they work directly with your insurance company to take away the headache. Now, if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. Say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
And we're doing a little bit of Mondaying out on the highways this morning. We drive near Highway 6. Also, Sherwood Drive at Longs Pond Road, you'll find an accident. Two more to make you aware of: I-20 eastbound at White Pond Road and Hardin at Taylor. 75 for the high today, 71 tomorrow, 75 on Wednesday. We do see some afternoon and evening showers coming in tomorrow, some morning showers on Wednesday. And then the cooling trend starts in. It's going to be windy and cool on Thursday, breezy on Friday. High of 60 on Thursday with an overnight low of 39. Come Friday, 58. Overnight low of 37. Right now, 46 on 107.5 The Game.
$7:35 as we get you going here on your Monday morning. And I know what you're talking about. The big fight, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. No, we're not talking about that at all this morning. We're talking about a scintillating 34-30 victory for South Carolina. Let me give you the Brad Crawford stat, guys. And we had Brad on last week, and Brad does a great job for 24/7 Sports, coming up celebrating his 10th year in December with 24/7 Sports. And Jamie, I know you guys have Brad on your program as well. We're always very knowledgeable. This was a tweet that he put out Saturday night after the game. Since the start of the 2022 season, Shane Beamer has 6 wins over top 25 teams at South Carolina. That's more than Ryan Day.
Yes,
who has 5.
Tell me more.
Lane Kiffin.
Tell me more.
Who has 5. Brian Kelly, who only has 4. Lincoln Riley.
You don't say.
Who only has 4. James Franklin, who only has 3.
This gets better and better.
Mike Norvell, who only has 3. So, and I'll start with this. Look, I just, the job, I think sometimes what happened last year, nobody was happy about. And I think nobody was more unhappy than Shane Beamer because of the trajectory of the program, Jamie and Preston, and the way he has stayed with what he believes in. And I'll give him credit for this because we've said stuff on this radio program. You know, we do stuff. Sometimes we criticize people, but he has stayed with what he has believed in. And I really think you saw that culture. He talked about it in the postgame press conference. That culture, that mentality, that togetherness, again, pay off on Saturday night. Preston, you were a part of something like that with Lou Holtz very early in your career where there was a culture and a camaraderie unlike a lot of teams out there in the country.
You have to build it. It's cliche, and everybody gets tired of hearing it because we've so much focused on talent. Yes, a baseline talent has to be there. You have to have guys that can make plays. But in today's game, more so than ever, there has to be something extra that allows people to want to stay, makes people want to play hard, and makes people want to play together. And obviously, Shane has found a recipe for that.
Jamie?
Yeah, he's a pretty special dude. I think we all know, if you speak with Shane by phone or you speak with him face to face, if you happen to have to send him a text or an email or something like that, you get the same response as the president would. I mean, he treats everybody the same, and that's been since day one. I mean, I just had a conversation on Saturday night with a buddy of mine who played here under Coach Spurrier when Shane was on staff, and just this exact same thing. How he communicates with people and makes you feel like you are included, and makes you feel valuable and remembers things about you, and it's hard to do that when you have to manage how many hundred of people a day. Remember their families' names and birth dates and girlfriends and all kinds of crap that is important to these kids. You just don't realize how important it is to them because they're like little machines out there with helmets on to most of the fans, and people forget they actually have lives. And then you bring all those other factors in, like the NIL and the transfer portal and all these things that you have to deal with before you ever even get to coach football. Like you walk in the morning, you're a football coach, and you're not dealing with football. So he's excellent at that. That's where it starts. And then obviously I think he's put together a staff that really understands relationships and understand what good talent is and looks like, and they develop. And they've been doing that. And that's a recipe for success. And you're in the best league in the country. So a lot of those names that you just gave, while we look at their records and we applaud how successful they've been, they just don't have to go through this gauntlet. And it is hard to get through the SEC, and Shane Beamer's beating good teams to do it.
Some of what you just talked about, player development, we're not allowed completely behind the curtain to know what exactly is going on. That's perfectly fine. But somewhere along the line, and a lot of it, and some of it has to do with Lenore Sellers and his continued development, but you do have to give Lonnie Teasley credit. Maybe it's Sean Elliott putting a little bit more of a voice in. Maybe it's Sean Elliott putting more of a voice in to Dow Loggins to scheme that offensive line to their strengths. But the offensive line has really come along. Look, say what you want. You can say, well, it's Lenore Sellers. You can say this. You can say that. Giving up 1 sack in 3 games compared to where you'd given up 32 in the previous 7, that's a strong mark, positive for Lonnie Teasley.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, if you're one of the people that was going to blame him for everything before, then he's the one dude that deserves all the credit now, right?
Right.
And I think that's why, like, when you actually go look at it, there's a lot that goes into this. We all know that. Preston, you know that. It's not all one guy ever. There are some things that they've been doing in the run game specifically that if you go back and watch what they did under Coach Spurrier when Coach Elliott was in charge are almost exactly the same. So, there's a lot of pats on the back and then a lot of criticism that is deserved by multiple people when these things go well and don't go well. But you just hit the nail on the head, Bill, and I'm not so sure that any of us who have a microphone can say it better than that. Say whatever you want. Say whatever you want. You can give whatever reason you want to give it. That's 1 in 12 quarters. Prior to, they were getting sacked 5 times a game. Obviously, something has changed, and it's working out much better.
Preston?
You can clearly see that something is happening. You can maybe put it towards they've had more explosive plays, and that gives you more opportunity to call different plays. You can talk about the game plan. A lot of different things. It doesn't matter. But the fact is the offense has improved, and it's caught up to give the defense, which we know has been historical all year, is giving them a chance to win games. And the proof is in the pudding. So, like you said, like Jamie said, they were rightfully criticized earlier in the season because they were not performing, and when they perform, they have to be rightfully praised.
There were plays, and they highlighted. I forget where I was. Might have been on the rewatch of the game yesterday, but they were highlighting the scheme of the offensive line on that final play. And I believe it was one of the guards. I believe that they were pointing out how they pulled and got through the hole and helped create a double team that allowed one particular tackler from Missouri to not be able to get to Rocket Sanders. And I think it was on the actual game broadcast. There are things that I think as Jamie just pointed out, that you see Sean Elliott having a strong hand in changing some of the plays. And look, one of the simple plays that we've complained enough that hadn't been run, just the simple screen pass to Jared Brown that turns into a touchdown.
Housed it.
Yeah.
Getting the ball out there.
And let me put a pin on this. Kaysen Henry has struggled at various points throughout the season. On that particular play, Kaysen got his block, sealed the edge, allowed the double team to come around. So when it was time for him to make the block, he absolutely made the block because that play would not have gone without Kaysen at the point of attack.
And
yeah,
again,
yeah. Hey, I'll add one too. One of those long throws to Dale Von Campbell. It's just a curl route, guys. Like they haven't done a lot of that, and. Sellers drops back. He's got time to throw it. I think it was a 3-step drop. He lets it go. It's perfectly timed, and everybody turns around and there's open grass, and he's gone. It's just that's a simple curl, it's a curl, like a curl flat. I mean, he's just standing right there. You're throwing that for a first down, not necessarily for a big game, but it turned into one.
803-404-6100. We'll hit the break, but Roman weighs in. I agree. And, Jamie, you were at the game. The playing of Rooster by Allison Chains was peak cinema. That was a well-timed thing there during the game. They were on point this game. 803-404-6100. We'll come back and wrap things up here with Jamie. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing, where for nearly 30 years, owner, founder Larry Leitner and the family have been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. And it's your assurance that their professionals will provide proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility. So whether it's your business, whether it's your home, you know what they say. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. And the best part of that, they are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you discover said leak or you think you have an issue with your roof, again, whether it's your business or your home, Mid-State Roofing will have an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee ready to take your phone call. 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. Mid-State Roofing is ready to help you, whether you're here in Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach, Aiken, Augusta, Charleston, wherever you may be listening this morning, Mid-State Roofing is ready to help you. So call them today, 803-356-1919. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Y'all know Thanksgiving is just around the corner. I know what you've been thinking about. You've been thinking about the turkey. You've been thinking about the stuffing, the cranberry sauce, the pumpkin pie. You've been thinking about all these great things because people are coming to your home and you want to make sure they have a delicious meal. You know what those people really want? They want to have a delicious meal in a clean home. They want your tiles, your rugs, your upholstery, everything to be nice and tidy. If they're going to sit and hang around your home better be clean. And that means you need to call Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. With over 2,000 Google reviews and a 4.9 star rating, Zero Res is going to exceed your carpet cleaning expectations. So this Thanksgiving, make sure your family is enjoying a great meal in a clean home. Take advantage of Zero Res's fall sale. Mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. Give me a phone call, 803-262-4020. Schedule with ease online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Man rush for Sellers. Lofting one wide open. Nick Harbor. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Nick Harbor. 26 yards out. Let the big guy eat. The 6'5", 235-pound sophomore was wide open. I think it was the move, Tommy, and not the speed. He just acted like he was going inside on the slant, went for the fade, and Sellers with great touch.
That was Todd Ellis on the call. We've given a lot of roses this morning. Lenore Sellers, Dow Loggins, Lonnie Teasley, offensive line, Shane Beamer. Guys, one more. I know he only had 2 catches on Saturday, but Nick Harbor, I'll be the first to admit, I didn't see this coming with him. I thought that missing spring ball, not getting the reps, not getting the physical reps, Preston, we talked about it, he has developed this year. Now, that play in particular was a busted coverage by Missouri. They blitzed the corner, the safety, by the time the safety got there, it was too late. That's what it was. I saw it on the replay. but Nick Harbor's downfield blocking, he drew a couple pass interferences. He is quietly developing into a weapon, Preston.
Yes, it was a busted coverage, and still you have to throw the ball. And then more importantly for Nick, he has to catch the ball,
yes.
And he did it. And so we can't take it for granted that all of those things did not have to go right, and they made the actual play. They took advantage of a situation that maybe they would not have been able to take advantage of earlier in the season. Earlier in the season, you could easily see that scenario. He's wide open, overthrow, drop, et cetera, et cetera. No, it didn't work. They executed it perfectly.
Jamie?
Jack crap about playing wide receiver in the SEC. We're trying to tell Nick how to play wide receiver in the SEC for so long, and he's worked his rear end off. You know, the most important thing for him, in my opinion, all along was catch the football, and the rest of it will fall into place. He started to do that, and it certainly has. He's got a chance to be a pretty good one down the stretch for Carolina.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. Obviously, track's still a big deal for him, but as we go into the offseason and if this little stretch, back-to-back games now, where he's been able to make some plays, make some things happen, 5 catches for him now in the last 2 games for 112 yards. So there's still a ways to go. By the way, one of the stats from Saturday night that's just impressive, because the A&M game was all about Josh Simon and Rocket Sanders. This game, you had Delvon Campbell with 2 catches, Harbor with 2 catches, Jared Brown with 2 catches, Mazeo Bennett with 5 catches, Gage Larvindane had a catch. 5 different receivers with a catch on Saturday night. 3 tight ends, Josh Simon, Brady Hunt, and Michael Smith all get involved. The spreading of the ball around, but I want to go back to the wide receivers while we're giving out roses here. Kudos to Mike Furry. I think he's coming along. You look at the recruiting class he's got built as well. Lenore Sellers is going to have some dudes to throw the football to the next 2 years. Mind you, we keep saying 2 years. Somebody don't let Lenoris know that you can leave after 3 years of college. I mean, I don't know where his development's going to go, Jamie and Preston, but he's growing quickly.
Yep, he sure is. And a lot of those wide receivers you just mentioned, you know, he helps them look a little bit better too. So, you know, all this stuff is going to be centered around him. This is going to be his show. This is his show now at South Carolina. But the development all across the board, here in Columbia this season. Nate, can you name one position that it hasn't gotten better? Anybody?
No, this is, no. And that's
Exactly.
part of it. That's what you talk about, this team really growing. And once again, under Shane Beamer, playing better late in the season.
Yep, much better. And this is the most important week of the year for them right here.
Ooh, wait.
Oh,
Jamie,
Jamie's joining the program.
Did you just I like it. Can we say that one more time, Jamie? Can we get that on record?
Yeah, this is the most important week of the year right here.
Here we go.
You don't want to fall asleep this week. If you're going to finish the way you want to finish, you have got to perform this week. And they've got some things that they need to work on. Clemson, that are on tape now for the following weekend, right? So they've got to go out and get that stuff done this week before you get to Thanksgiving week and that team in the upstate. This is for finishing the way you want to finish. This is the most important week in the whole year.
I think I heard him say of Shane Beamer's career.
Is that what he said?
This is the biggest game in the history of Gamecock football.
Oh, yeah, all right.
You know, okay.
There we go.
Hey, you know, I could actually argue that you don't want to lose to Wofford before you get to play Clemson. So
Wofford's 5-6 too. You don't want to lose to a.
Also, I'm not locked into Wofford football this year. They don't run the goofy triple anymore, do they? Are they running a regular offense?
You're talking about Wofford?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not, man. It's not like it. Yeah, it's not like it used to be.
Okay.
They did get beat by the Citadel this weekend by 13.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Citadel goes to Clemson.
Yeah, but their quarterback's thrown for like 1,500 yards or something.
Cool.
I mean, it's not, you know. So.
Jamie, we always appreciate it. Always appreciate it. Look forward to catching up. Have a great rest of the week. It's going to be a fun week, and we look forward to catching up with you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep, Jamie Bradford there. A lot of great stuff. We'll continue on our celebration. We'll grab Eli again, toss him in the drink. Got some thorns, buds, and roses. A lot to do. Hour to go.
Do you wake up with joint pain, whether it's from old injuries or simply getting old? Or have they told you that it's time for knee or hip replacement surgery? Well, stop what you're doing and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. And QC Kinetics can get you there. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments for joint pain. This is an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. You can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without downtime. So discover your options with advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call for a consultation. It's absolutely free. 803-281-6860. That's 803-281-6860. QC Kinetics at 803-281-6860.
I-20 westbound at Monticello Road, the left lane is currently blocked, so stay right there. Sharp Road at Wilson Boulevard and Weed Drive near Highway 6. Forecast, going to be nice for a couple days. 75 today with sunny skies. Evening showers tomorrow with a high of 71, back to 75 on Wednesday. Some showers in the morning. The winds pick up a little bit, though, for Thursday and Friday. And it also gets cooler. Windy and cool Thursday, 60 for the high, but that overnight low of 39. Friday, 58. Overnight low of 37, cool and breezy. So kind of a changing weather pattern coming up. It's currently 46 on 107.5 The Game.
They're working off the left hash mark. 2nd down and 3. 22 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts. Blitz by Missouri. Shuffle pass inside Sanders. Inside the 10. 5. Rocket going for it. Touchdown Carolina. Touchdown Rocket Sanders. From 15 yards out. The Gamecocks.
Whoa! Yeah!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, hell no, we just scored.
Oh my gosh, shuffle pass.
Woo!
Listen to this crowd. Carolina with 4 safeties back. Cook in the gun, 9 seconds remaining, throwing underneath. And that's picked off if it's good. He made the catch and Carolina's got the football. Oh my goodness, Brady Cook with his 2nd interception on the year, and this could seal it with 4 seconds to go. Jalen Kilgore with his 4th pick of the season.
I once had a good buddy tell me, Preston, it's fun having fun.
It is. It is.
He was slightly indulged, but I understood what he meant. And Saturday night, it was fun having fun. South Carolina, what a call there. Todd Ellis and Tommy Suggs is, I think a lot of you knew exactly how they felt Saturday night. What a game, 34-30. Over Missouri. Real quick, let's give you your Gamecock whip around here on a Monday morning. Look back at what else occurred. There were other sports taking place over the weekend. We have not given credit where credit should be due. Shelley Smith and the women's soccer team, they opened the first round of the NCAA soccer tournament here at the Graveyard on Friday night. 6-0 over East Carolina.
Yeah, I saw the East Carolina crew walking around campus taking a tour of campus. So hope they enjoyed it and going up the road.
They will be back in action coming up on Friday afternoon. They will take on Minnesota up in Chapel Hill. And if they win that, they will get either Chapel Hill or North Carolina, if you want to call them that, or Santa Clara in the 3rd round there. But Shelley Smith's team advances to the 2nd round with a 6-0 victory over East Carolina. As if that wasn't bad enough for East Carolina, Dawn Staley and their basketball team then played East Carolina yesterday. And it was a thumping. 95-44. They roll over the Pirates yesterday. CLA, pretty good environment there. A lot of fun.
Always a great environment. They did get thumped. However, they got a chance to meet Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson did go into the locker room and speak to the team. So
to East Carolina.
Yeah.
Is that what we do now? We have to have a celebrity player for the women's team. Like, all right, Coppin State, come on down. East Carolina, come on. But we're going to let you meet somebody.
There we go.
We're going to beat your brains in. But then we're going to have you get to speak with Dawn Staley. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll have Asia Wilson here.
Listen, man, if you are a woman playing basketball right now, there's nobody you would rather meet in the world than Asia Wilson. So if you got to get beat by 45 points to meet Asia Wilson, it's fair. That's an even trade-off.
It was 20-5 at the end of the first quarter. You think East Carolina was like, hurry up, come on, we want to meet Asia.
They're running down the court like, there she is. She's right there.
Games yesterday, Chloe Kitts leads the way, 14 points, 7 rebounds for her. It was really a team effort yesterday. Joyce Edwards and Malaysia Fulwiley, the local pair, combining for 24 points, 12 each, 12 for Joyce, 12 for Malaysia yesterday for the Gamecocks. Then Bree Hall and Sanaya Fagan, each with 10 points. It was, again, well-balanced scoring to fake night. When you score 95 points, Preston, and your high score has 14, and then you have 5 players in double digits, pretty solid day. Tahina Paopao had 9 points, didn't get into double digits. Raven Johnson had 7. Ashlyn Watkins kind of working her way back into action, had 8. It was a true team effort yesterday for them. They were still, I don't want to say the stat is concerning, but for a team that we thought would be, I don't want to say live and die by the three-pointer, they've not shot the 3 well to start the season. Just 4 of 13 yesterday. Bree Hall making 2 of those.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something that you just hope comes with reps.
Well, they're not even shooting a lot of them, which that's why I'm hesitant to say it's a concern. It's not like they're shooting 4 of 20 or 6 of 25. You know, they're not. They're
maybe there was more of a concerted effort to get the ball in the post and figure out those games. Again, I think we trust coach to figure this out.
Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. She knows what she's doing,
I guess.
Men's side of things, we have not mentioned this. We'll get more into it tomorrow once we kind of move away from this particular football game. 87-71 loss up at Indiana. I have watched some highlights. You said you saw some of the game.
I did watch a little bit of it early. Indiana came out blazing hot, and they hung in with them early. I didn't watch the second half of the game. Maybe Thorns on the streaming and Peacock and how that works out. But yeah, Indiana was pretty hot to start the game off, and they hung in there. It's interesting just to see how these new pieces are going to gel together on this team.
Rough day for Colin Murray Boyles. Got into foul trouble early. Very limited. Didn't even make it to 20. Didn't play 20 minutes. Only had 2 points and 6 rebounds against the trio of big guys there for Indiana.
They had a biggin.
Ballo.
How big is he? I don't know what.
Large.
He is. When you're on a basketball court and you make the other basketball players look short and small. You know, like that was a big dude, man. I hadn't seen a big dude like that.
Yeah. Omar Ballo, big fella, transfer, 7 points, 13 rebounds for him. He wasn't their main guy. Miles Rice lit South Carolina up, 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3-point range. Hit all 6 of his free throws. He had 23 points, but the Gamecocks fall. Morris Ugasuk leading the way for South Carolina. South Carolina scoring.
He kept them in the game early. He was hitting a lot of threes, and he was the one that kept them treading water when Indiana had that onslaught early.
Nick Pringle with a double-double, 13 points and 11 rebounds in that contest as well. Jamari Thomas added 13 points. Ugasuk, going back to him, 4 of 6 from three-point range. Miles Studi, 3 of 11 from three-point range on Saturday. Again, you've seen some of it. I don't know if Peacock had it streaming again. I couldn't find it yesterday, and then I got wrapped up in the Bills-Chiefs, and they have Peacock had like a highlight package that I was able to see. I think there was a dunk on there that looked particularly vicious against South Carolina. I was like, oh, it's not what you want to see. So we'll know more. Women back in action, by the way. Wednesday night, rivalry game. Clemson. And it's up there at Clemson, which means we won't have a celebrity to visit with them after the game to console them. But you'll hear that right here on 107.5 The Game. That'll be Wednesday night, women in action at Clemson. That game also will be on ESPN2. The men will be back in action Thursday night at the CLA. That'll be against Mercer. We'll have that for you right here on 107.5 The Game as well. One other thing, volleyball off this week. They did not play. They will have a 2-game set next week, or a 2-match set, I should say, Friday at Alabama and Sunday at Tennessee. So there's your Gamecock whip around here, a little update on what happened throughout other sports outside of football, where we have all been celebrating, Preston Thorne, all been enjoying all the greatness of the morning.
It's been a great time, and we've been trying to do this. We've been talking about it. We're going on the vibe check, whether Eli was going to make us drink something or whether he was going to toss him in the drink. And, Bill, you grab his hand.
I tell you what, hold on.
I'll grab his leg.
Jen, I tell you what, before we do that, let's play 27. That way we throw him a little bit higher and a little bit further.
Okay.
Here's Drinkwitz after the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think that's the difference in the game. You know, in the first half, we had the 4th down stop, and we had the turnover and didn't get any points off the turnover with the missed field goal when 3 and out right there in the sack. And, you know, our inability to convert 3rd downs in the red zone in the first half was why we were behind and ultimately the difference in the score. Any of those are touchdowns, it's a different game.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, get out of here. Yeah.
Whatever. Get out of here.
Get over here.
Yeah,
You got him. You got him.
I got his legs.
I got his hands.
Here you go. 1, 2, 3.
Get out of here.
In the drink.
He's floating down the concrete right now. There he goes.
Get out of here. We're done with this. This is over. The streak is done. Eli's done. We're ready. 1-0, Mayor's Cup. Let's roll.
803-404-6100. Yes, we have fun on this program.
We're doing well.
We'll come back.
It's fun to be fun.
It's fun to have fun.
Fun to
Preston.
have fun.
It's fun to have fun. We'll come back. We'll get into some thorns, buds, and roses. I got 2 of them.
Nice.
I love what South Carolina's doing. I love that environment. I got to pick a bone with some people over there. We got 2 things to discuss. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for the Mortgage Guru, Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. Let me tell you what, as we wrap up November, I know we're halfway through it, we go into December, you might be already looking ahead, keeping an eye on the interest rates and seeing what you might want to do. Maybe you're thinking about moving. Maybe you're thinking about refinancing in 2025. Well, you need to start learning today what options are available to you. That's why you need to call the Mortgage Guru, Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. Now, I used Jacob about 5 years ago. He helped get me a great interest rate and a great plan. And right now, if you're thinking about moving into Richland County, or if you're in Richland County and you're going to stay there, you need to contact Jacob and see about the community reinvestment product. 803-719-1005. Again, that's 803-719-1005. Learn more about the community reinvestment product. Right now, it's a 4.99% interest with a 5.075 APR on a 30-year fixed mortgage. For more information, call the Mortgage Guru, Jacob Crowder, 803-719-1005.
I-20 at Monticello Road, an accident there. Also sharp at Wilson Boulevard. And Weed Drive near Highway 6. 75 for the high today under the high today under mostly sunny skies. 71 tomorrow, 75 on Wednesday. But we may see some rain coming in tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Then that cool front comes in. We get some windier conditions. 60 for the high on Thursday, 58 on Friday with temperatures overnight in the upper 30s. Right now, sitting at 47 on 107.5 The Game.
Again, a reminder, coming up after us, you can go visit the Gamecock Central crew and Tyler Head. They'll be out in Newberry, 1214 Wilson Boulevard at Firehouse Subs. Swing by, get yourself a little sub, hang out, talk some ball. A lot of recruiting that Wes and Chris can talk about this morning. I've been keeping an eye personally because you look toward the future, keeping an eye on this Jared Smith situation, 5-star defensive end, top 20 player in the country, currently committed to Auburn, was back in town. He would be this year's Dylan Stewart. And he was in town on Saturday night, saw the atmosphere, saw everything going on. South Carolina had a good list of visitors again. Donovan Murph, the reclassifying wide receiver from Irmo, was over there. Jordan Gidron, another reclassified wide receiver, was there. Malik Clark was there. South Carolina, Mike Furry's got a nice recruiting class there with the wide receivers. Got to continue, though, Preston. We talked about it, to build depth at that defensive end position and defensive tackle for Sterling Lucas and Travion Robertson. And Jared Smith would be the prized recruit of the class if indeed they can flip him from Auburn. Again, he is a Alabama kid, so you're trying to pull a kid from the state of Alabama away from Auburn, who, when paying players was illegal, they were notorious for doing it. Now that it's well within NIL rights, they're doing whatever they can to build a roster. So I'm going to have to up the ante on the NIL money a little bit. But South Carolina, Mississippi, also notorious NIL program, and Auburn. Does that mean that we're now becoming a notorious NIL program?
It all depends on who you ask. Maryland, Penn State. If you ask several programs around the country, we're the guys with the bags. So whatever.
So yeah, but you can go by Firehouse Subs here in a little while. 1214 Wilson Boulevard out in Newberry, and you can pick the brain of Chris and Wes there on some recruiting questions, which again coming off of the weekend. And that's another part, Preston. Continuing to build up this program so that Shane Beamer can sell that in the off season. Hey, look how close the odds are. Not there again. They're not zero. Missouri's eliminated. Get out of here. You're no longer in the playoff hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. Hit the road. Follow your coach floating down the river.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of South Carolina getting in are very small. I don't care about what ESPN says. They're in the single digits. A lot's got to happen. A lot did happen this week to at least keep them in the discussion. And when we get to a college ball look around, oh boy, Louisville, stop committing penalties and false starts with 1 second left to set up a game-winning field goal. But if Shane Beamer, if you can get to 9, and then let's just say you win a ball game and you're at 10, and Shane Beamer can go, you're the player. You're that guy who puts us into the playoff. That's a strong selling point, along with, hey, here's some NIL money.
Yeah, well, yes. Here's your money. And also, look at the success that we've had, whether it's from freshmen that have come in, i.e. Dylan Stewart, whether it's from upperclassmen who have transferred in, i.e. Kyle Kennard, Rocket Sanders. We've done it in a lot of different ways. Torricelli Simpkins also, if you want to get some guys from lower levels that are bubbling up. So there's a lot of different ways we've put this thing together where different various players who are looking for opportunities may see South Carolina as a destination for them.
Yeah, you can even use Antoine Wells and say, hey, look at what we did for him. He hadn't had the same. Well, he's got 5 touchdowns on the year, but you can say he caught 70 balls here with us.
Mm-hmm.
He's only at 26 over there in Oxford. Mm-hmm. Just saying. So you're right. But winning those games, even if you don't get into the playoff, those selling points are vital. 803-404-6100. Let's do our thorns, buds, and roses. Then we'll get back to the phone lines. Let's go. We got a lot to get to. I've got some thorns. A great weekend, but we'll do a little bit of thorns, buds, and roses.
It's time for Thorns, Buds, and Roses with Preston Thorne on the early game. 107.5 The Game.
All right, Bill. It's a great weekend for the Gamecocks. Great weekend for sports in general. And notice I say sport because I don't think what allegedly 60 million people, according to Netflix, tuned into on Friday night, I don't think that was sport.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that was.
It was a disappointment.
It was a robbery. It was a put on the mask.
Well, as Dave Portnoy called it, the greatest con job ever in sports history.
Exactly. Logan Paul, Mike Tyson come up to the front.
I think it's Jake Paul. That just goes to show you.
Now, I used to know your name. I don't even want to know it anymore. You all robbed the public of seeing whatever they were going to see, and it just got on my nerves in so many different ways. Obviously, Jake Paul, he's just annoying in general. Mike, go sit down, please. We remember you as being great, as a great boxer. We don't want to see this anymore. Please go back to doing your podcast. Go back to being on The Hangover, whatever. Do not step in the ring again. It's your choice. You do whatever you want to do, but it got on my nerves. Fans, you should have saw this coming from a mile away. There's no way that this was actually going to be a real thing. Also, I'm not sure why we continuously deny age. Mike Tyson is 58 years old. Why did we think that he was going to be? You know how old you are listening to this. He's 58 with a lot of mileage on that. Not an easy 58, let's say that. He's well worn. Thorns, all of it. And also Netflix, hey, you got 37 days till Christmas. The NFL is coming. You better get your stuff together.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was anybody else's, but several people on the internets said that the streaming was terrible, and also conveniently streamed on Mike Tyson's bare behind.
Yes.
While it was buffering. Not a great look.
Yes.
Thorns. Bill, you got any?
You want to finish yours?
I'll finish up and we'll come back to your thorns. We'll come back around. Yeah. Buds. We told y'all a couple weeks ago. Did we plan an offense? Are we curating it? Is it being pollinated by Dow Loggins and the crew around? Last couple of games, Oklahoma 254 yards, Texas A&M 530 yards, Vandy 452, Mizzou 460 yards. The offense is budding. We might actually have an offense, and it's best to have it going in towards the end of the season. So kudos to everybody for getting that done. All right, Bill, last but not least, need 19 roses.
Ooh.
This is a good one. 19 roses, Bill. 19 roses for the Bulldogs at South Carolina State for clinching their 19th MEAC championship. And out of those 19, we want to give a special bouquet to Coach Berry for getting his first MEAC championship at South Carolina State. Also want to give another one to our guy, Nashawn Goddard, for coaching the offensive line. And lastly, the biggest bouquet, we go to Coach Buddy Pugh for having the courage to step aside when it was time. He said he saw a guy that he was ready to replace and hand it over to. He's handed it over to Coach Berry, and they've done a great job. So look for South Carolina State. I believe the game is on December 14th, but they have qualified for the Celebration Bowl, and they have made postseason tournaments this year. So shout out to all the Bulldogs. Shout out to Coach Berry, Coach Goddard, and especially Coach Pugh. Bill, those are your thorns, buds, and roses for the weekend.
Yeah, real quick. Let me check. I'll confirm this because I saw they were, I guess, projected to play Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl, and you are correct. December 14th is that game.
Okay.
So Saturday, December 14th. So let me circle back. All right. I have thorns, and maybe I have to come up with a buds and a rose just not to be Mr. Negative. But I have two thorns that I've got to get off my chest here on this. Now, number one, let me say this. I think as a completely biased person who grew up going to South Carolina games since I was little and having watched the evolution of not only the area around Williams-Brice Stadium, phenomenal job. Watching the evolution of the stadium, watching the evolution of Sandstorm, watching everything that's happened. I am a completely biased person in saying that is without a doubt at night the absolute best environment in all of college football. I'll put it against anybody. I don't know how any player, how any recruit, and Preston, you went through the recruiting process, so I'm just speaking again as a completely biased, smaller radio host at 42 years of age, completely biased, but I don't know how any recruit can sit down there and not watch the team come out, not watch the towels, not watch the fans, not see the environment and go, I don't want to come try and play in this and make this a championship program. But there's two things. There's two things that have got to be fixed at the stadium. Two things, specifically with the production. Number one, I don't know if people are aware of this. South Carolina has a championship dance team.
Okay.
3-time NDA college national championship team. 2021, 2022, 2023. In January, they're going to go travel to Orlando to compete in the Jazz and Hip Hop United Dance Association College Nationals. That'll be the first time in program history they're trying in that category. That team is incredible. And I don't know why this caught me on Saturday night. Put them in. I don't know what the logistics of having to do it is because I know that you've got a football game going on. Put them in the middle of the field. Showcase your best stuff. And that is one of the best things that South Carolina has. And they are incredible. They are coordinated. They worked with the cheerleading squad, who was fantastic on Saturday night. Again, South Carolina does a lot of great things there. Put that team in the middle. Stop putting them down in the end zone. Put them on center stage. That's stage 1 down there.
Mm-hmm.
Put them on center stage in the middle. Put the spotlight on. Kids out there, if you're watching, look, man, that is an incredible, and they deserve roses. They deserve whatever they do with that program and how they do it. It is absolutely, put them as a spotlight. That's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be fixed. They need to showcase what's something that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That follows me to the next point.
Mm-hmm.
Showcase what is awesome. Will somebody with common sense highlight our former players better? Does anybody, 803-404-6100, I'll give you a second. Can you name the 3 players that were there on Saturday night? Now, you weren't there at the game.
I wasn't there at the game.
Jen, there are 3 former players shown. One of them should have been highlighted. He should have maybe gotten his own.
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Does any 803-404-6100? I hate to say it, I've already forgotten 2 of them.
This is very interesting.
Xavier Leggett was there.
Mm-hmm.
The way they did it, they did a kick. I think a kicking contest. Kid hit a field goal.
Oh, that was pretty cool. I was wondering to see if we could recruit him.
Take a second, let the stadium get quiet, and take during a timeout and showcase your former players. Because you got, as I just said, you got recruits there, and you've got receivers who are coming to this program. And I'd love to see when it's the second time this has happened, and it was like, all right, and let's welcome back former players. And I hate to say it, I don't even remember who the first 2 were, and they were players that we should have known and should have celebrated. J.C. Horn and DJ Wanham.
You think?
Yeah, kind of important.
Yeah, pretty good.
And Xavier. South Carolina does a million great things with their production. To me, it's the best in the nation, hands down. These are the 2 things I want fixed.
Solid. These are solid coaching compliments. We got to take these things into account.
When you get former players like that in the building, showcase them.
And can we have Paul Maneri come out?
Oh, yeah, Paul.
A little more often.
Ooh,
he was super fun.
My guy.
Oh, my gosh. He was ready to go.
Told you.
Yeah.
Paul uses language.
Yes, he does.
Whoa.
My guy.
Oh, Paul's fired up.
My guy.
Showcase those players, man.
Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Showcase those players.
Definitely do a better job of that.
Like, let everything get quiet for a second. Just settle everything down. And then showcase your players. DJ Wanham was a great player here. Obviously, J.C. Horn, showcase. And I'm not just saying it for the crowd. Give them a second. Don't just run them out there and be like, and now here's J.C. Horn, DJ Wanham and Xavier Leggett. And we all like, wait, who? Huh? Where? Give them a minute. Give them their flowers.
Yeah. It's fair. Good points.
Move that dance team to the middle of the field. That is an incredible, incredible group. That team deserves to get more attention from 80,000 strong, 75,000 strong. They are incredible. They are absolutely phenomenal. I think the band is incredible. I think there's everything that it's just that, but that group, showcase them. 803-404-6100. We'll come back and we'll get to your phone calls. We see you. We'll get to those. You're listening to the early game.
Remind at Platte Springs Road, a report of a tie-up there. Also, Jessamine at Woodbury. Nursery Road at Lake Murray Boulevard. You'll find an accident there. In Lexington, Old Cherokee at Old Chapin. Sharp Road at Wilson Boulevard. And Highway 378 near Halbrook Drive. That forecast looking pretty good today and tomorrow. 75 with sunshine today. 71 tomorrow with some afternoon or evening showers. That is, showers. Wednesday, 75. We'll start the day with some morning showers. Before that cooling trend comes in, we get some wind on Thursday. A lot cooler, 60 for the high, overnight low of 39, doing pretty much the same for Friday, cool and breezy, 47 currently on 107.5 The Game.
.36 as we roll along here on your Monday morning. It's been a fun show. Tell you what, Jim, before we go to the phone lines, Preston, I gotta. Where's that dork?
Come here. Hey, where
you
are
got
you?
him?
Come here.
You got him?
Come here.
You get him.
Come here.
Get him.
Give me your legs.
Grab him.
Give me your
got
legs.
him.
I got him.
Got him.
Ready?
1,
2,
3.
Get in the drink, Eli.
Throw the dork in the drink.
Hope you had your phone on you, too.
And your wallet.
Yeah, hope you had your phone and your wallet.
Can you just imagine, how many selfies does he have on that phone? I bet he has quite a few.
Eli drink with a selfie. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Get him out of here.
Good to beat him. Fun to be. And not only that, he whined in the postgame.
Of course.
He tried to give South Carolina credit, but he just couldn't. He basically said if they score touchdown, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. We're going to say he's not. But if they'd have scored touchdown, Drinkwitz after the game saying if they scored touchdowns in the red zone, the first half game's entirely different.
Also, I don't know if the Gamecock social media team is listening to the early game. I hope you are, but they did make a note of the Eli Drinkwitz press conference where he basically subbed Nick Emenwari. Basically, was saying, yeah, we've played against them. We're fine.
Yeah.
They made a video post about that, so
Good.
We're glad to be of assistance on that.
Good. Also, Jen, I believe we got a note that Eric Douglas was also at the game.
Yep, we did get a phone call who mentioned that he was there as well. So,
yeah,
again, we should have known that.
I just, again, I don't want to criticize the. I don't want to criticize because they do it.
Oh my
man,
gosh,
everything is
it's
awesome,
stellar, top notch, best in the country.
But I will the dance team, and by the way, led by Lindsay Sprague. I hope I'm saying that correctly. As the dance team coordinator, Lindsay Sprague. Again, I hope I'm saying that correctly. But those are the two things. Showcase what you're great at. And the dance team is phenomenal. And you've got some really great former players. Somebody asked, what would you do to fix them? Yeah, maybe a little video montage. Now, I know that it's a last-minute thing. But at least take a minute to really showcase your former players like that and let them get their ovation when they come back. And don't just hustle them on the field and hustle them right back off.
Agreed, 100%.
803-404-6100. Let's get back out to the phone lines. Ray wants to weigh in this morning. Ray, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Doing good, guys. Doing good. Yeah, on three players that good, you have to have them come out of the caboose. And if you couldn't do it that game, then do it another game. But you're right. They deserve more. They deserve a better entrance and introduction than the fan of the week or whatever they do over there. But
yeah.
But anyway, getting to the game, I will say this: the last two home games at Williams-Brice have just been phenomenal. I mean, people sometimes they'll go to a show, a movie, or a football game. And they say, I don't feel like I got my money's worth. My goodness, these last two home games at night, especially, or it got dark before the game was over. I mean, we got our money's worth and then some. I mean, good land, has it been nice. And just want to get to, Lenoris. Think about it. The last three games, he has avoided what should have been sacks by three pretty big dudes who had their hands all over him. And how he's able to escape, keep his eyes downfield to complete those passes. I mean, you can't put a price on that. I mean, that is just unbelievable what he can do. And last thing I just want to say before I get off the phone, and you guys can correct me, but number 5, isn't he getting real close to Clowney's sack record? Because I know I know he had a sack there towards the end of the game, and I'll take that off the line. But, man, what a good time it is to be a Gamecock. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you for the phone call. You're talking about Kyle Kennard. I believe he is at 10.5. I did not look that up coming into the morning to see where exactly. Is it 10.5? He was at 8.5, and I believe he got one. He got the one against Vanderbilt, and then he got the one on Saturday night. I don't know if Preston, you know how they give those stats out, whether it's a half or a full, or if
every half counts. Every half counts. We got to start maybe sneaking in a half here and there just to get him. The number is 13 for JD. So if I think Kyle is at 10.5. It's outside shot that he might get there.
Yeah, again, I'll have that right here.
Wofford might be a good opportunity.
He is at 10.5, and Dylan Stewart is at 5.5, which would have led. He's second. Dylan Stewart's second on the team with 5.5. Kyle Kennard, 10.5, and TJ Sanders and Tonka Hemingway both with 4 on the season to go to show you kind of what they've been able to do.
Absolutely. Oh, TJ made one move in there. It was beautiful. Perfect.
Yeah. Now, Perfect. I will say, reminder, get to your seats early on Saturday. I was telling Preston off air, I don't know how I got part of it. I was watching the end of the Clemson game, but we hustled to our seats. There was some people who couldn't quite keep up with me trying to get to the seats. They almost got left behind, but get there early because it will be senior day. Honor guys like Kyle Kennard, Tonka Hemingway, Demetrius Knight, guys that have put a lot into this. Debo Williams. I can go on and on and on, yeah. And obviously guys like Vershawn Lee and Rocket Sanders, guys like that. But you get there early. We'll see what the uniform combo is this week.
Well, according to X, we've worn a different combo every game this year, so okay. I don't expect there to be a repeat.
You know what? We'll do this for here 2 minutes. I follow up with what you wore. Go all garnet or all garnet with a white helmet.
Okay.
And by the way, to what he just said, and I think I heard Elijah or Tyler talking about this, it was an awesome night where we started in the afternoon with the game, and then by about midway through the second quarter, it was dark, and you had the lights going and everything. Again, it was a phenomenal atmosphere. Kudos to the fans. I mean, that place, again, I don't know if we've gotten confirmation if the touchdown officially registered on the Richter scale or if that's just social media trying to pump up South Carolina. But Jen was in the press box, and Jen will vouch for it, that the press box was jumping and swaying a little bit there with 15 seconds to go.
Oh, yeah. No, it was great. It was just like on the beginning of the game because, like I said, at the beginning of the game, when you're about to kick off and Sandstorm was going strong, bottle of water there. You can see the water moving and carrying on. You can kind of feel it, and that was exactly what you felt then. So that energy was so impressive.
Nice.
Not electric. Impressive.
There you go, Jen.
Lit. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. We'll come back. We'll wrap everything up here this morning. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for the Ecton Law Firm. If you've received one of those nasty notices from the IRS, if you are worried that you or your business may be in some trouble, you need to call the superheroes that are the Ecton Law Firm. They know how to deal with the IRS maze. They've helped thousands of families just like you deal with the IRS, and now it's your time. If you're having an issue, call today and get a free consultation. 803-771-9800. Again, that's 803-771-9800. The IRS, well, they've been sending out those notice of intent to levy, but if you've received one, again, you might be in a little bit of trouble. There's not a lot of time to waste. Call the Ecton Law Firm today. 803-771-9800. Let them help you with proven local solutions just like they have for, again, thousands of families just like you. Help escape the IRS maze. 803-771-9800. Call the Ecton Law Firm today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Bill Gunner from Mid-State Roofing. Let me ask you, as we get up here on a Monday morning, we're coming off a lot of stuff. Big football weekend, Thanksgiving's just around the corner. Are you thinking about your roof? Well, guess what? You probably aren't, and that's understandable. It's not something you always do. But at Mid-State Roofing, who's been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry for nearly 30 years, they are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ready to take your phone call, help you with a maintenance contract. So whether it's you or your business, if you are having an issue right now, you're discovering leaks in your roof, you're worried about the upcoming winter and maybe some of the winds that come along with it, call today. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Mid-State Roofing will have an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee ready to help you with a maintenance contract. 803. Wrapping it up here. I tell you what, Jen, if we can pull it off, I apologize. I was talking to Preston something off air. Let's do 5, 6, and some sandstorm here, if you don't mind. Are we able to pull that off right here? Let's give everybody one last feeling here on our Saturday. I apologize. This is bad radio.
They're working off the left hash mark. 2nd down and 3. 22 seconds remaining. 2 timeouts. Blitz by Missouri. Shuffle pass inside. Sanders inside the 10. 5. Rocket going for it. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Rocket Sanders. From 15 yards out. The Gamecocks.
Whoa! Yeah!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Woo! No, hell no, we just scored.
Oh my gosh, shuffle pass.
Woo!
Listen to this crowd. Carolina with 4 safeties back. Cook in the gun, 9 seconds remaining, throwing underneath. And that's picked off if it's good. He made the catch and Carolina's got the football. Oh my goodness, Brady Cook with his 2nd interception on the year, and this could seal it with 4 seconds to go. Jalen Kilgore with his 4th pick of the season.
I've been to a lot of games, but to have my 9-year-old daughter cry after that last touchdown out of excitement speaks volumes on how great the atmosphere was. That comes from Devontre weighing in this morning, and yes, it was incredible.
Now, Devontre, I have to ask, had she wiped the tears from when she was crying of the Luther Burden touchdown? Were those just leftover tears, and they just turned into happy tears after the first ones?
That's a good question, but what a game on Saturday night. We've asked you this morning, what was your favorite play? Mm-hmm. And Preston, there's so many great plays to choose from. There's so many great ones. I don't know where this one would fall on your list, but Preston, what was your favorite play?
Nick Emenwari in the flats, 1-on-1. Luther Burden, 2nd and 9. Fundamentals, breaks down, sits in the chair, puts his arms out, grabs cloth, brings it to the ground. Oh, what a great open field tackle. It's my favorite play of the whole game.
Yes. That was Preston's favorite play of the defensive guy. Just as fundamental as it could be,
right?
Did
you see him break down? He chatted his feet. He had busy feet the whole time. He shot his glove. He used the clubs. He did everything. It was perfect. A100%.
I went with the play where Lenora Sellers again pulls a Houdini. And look, Sellers magic. Whoever's familiar with Lenoris, get that thing. I don't know what you want to go. Houdini Sellers magic. Trademark it, NIL it, because that play he makes late in the game escapes another Missouri rusher, rolls back to his left toward the Carolina sideline, and finds Brady Hunt on a 3rd and 10. On a series where I think Dow Loggins called a good game. I have no problem, no qualms, but here comes two qualms. That series was heading for disaster. That looked like South Carolina had puckered up a little bit. Missouri had taken a 27, I believe that was the 27-22 lead, or that got to go back and look. But Missouri had, I believe that was the 22-21 lead when Missouri took that. And Sellers scrambled and found Brady Hunt, and it was a 3rd and 10. If South Carolina doesn't get that, they're punting. It's a bad situation. Who knows what happens, but Lenora Sellers made something happen, and South Carolina would go down and score. And that's when actually the Gamecocks took the lead there, 27-22 on that series. But again, it was a 3rd and 10. Rocket Sanders had run. Lenora Sellers ran first, got 2 yards. Rocket Sanders ran second, lost 2 yards. And then on 3rd and 10, he found Brady Hunt. And again, if they don't make that play, who knows where that game kind of goes.
Yeah, that's huge momentum carrier to keep things going, because the way it was going for Missouri offensively, they were taking control of the game at that moment.
803-404-6100, how you can weigh in if you want to do so here as we wrap things up. Final thoughts, overall serious thoughts on the game.
I've said it before. It's probably one of the guttiest wins we've seen out of these Shane Beamer teams. Overall, big picture, what we know about Shane Beamer's team is they get better as the season goes along. They've reduced the turnovers, they've reduced the penalties, and you've seen the production increase. So there's no reason to believe that this team cannot continue to play. And that was a tremendous win for them.
The question will come up now: bowl eligibility. What happens next? Where they go? Look, just win this weekend, which I don't even know. I think the point spread will come out later on. If they put one out, I didn't look because it's an FCS team at this point. Don't get hurt. We will probably shift our attention to Clemson on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. We'll probably start because I think this is going to be great for the state. If you Citadel, Wofford, maybe we can all start kind of getting together and building the hype of that game.
Yeah, I've already made 2 Clemson calls this week. So myself and my two of my Clemson buddies, we've already kind of agreed to let's go ahead and move it on.
Let's get to the phone lines real quick. Grant, you got about 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Go. What you got?
All right. I don't know about this Sellers Houdini stuff, but go the real estate route. That game is on the market, and it's a seller's market.
Ooh.
Okay. Trying to help. Nice. Very good job.
If you trademark it, I want royalties.
Thank you for the phone call.
Yeah, have a good one.
Friday, we're going to do something special. We want to do this. We should have started earlier in the season. At about 7 o'clock, if you're taking the kids to school, have your kids call in Friday morning at 7 in the 7 o'clock segment, 7 to 7:15. We want kid predictions for Wofford.
We want out the mouth of babes. We want to hear the predictions.
We had who did we have last week, Jen? Who was it? Do you remember who
it was? Henry. I know we give a shout out there, but we gave somebody.
We've had, I believe Little Sean has called in.
Oh, yep, Young Sean. Mm-hmm.
Young Sean. So we will be taking kid predictions. We'll mention that throughout the week, 7 to 7:15, heading to school. So we'll do that on Friday. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate y'all.
Bill Gunner for Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, where, let me tell you, with Thanksgiving around the corner, the folks at Love Chevrolet want to let you know how thankful they are for you being their customers. Love Chevrolet is taking care of the Midlands. They know with their customer service how to treat someone, how to make sure you have fun during the car buying experience. They understand it can be stressful. They understand that it's a big purchase in your life, but they want to offer you everything you need to make that purchase work, to make it great, such as giving you the largest selection of vehicles anywhere in the Midlands, 14 acres of brand new Chevys. They want to make sure you get the best deal possible. That's why they have the $1,000 low price guarantee. It means you can shop other dealerships, take that deal back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they will top it. The folks at Love Chevrolet have taken care of me and the family. They'll take care of you. I promise that. I guarantee that. That's why I love being a part of their family. So get out to Love Chevrolet, and together, let's drive.
Ermine Road at Platte Springs Road, there's an accident there. Also, Jessamine at Woodbury Road. Nursery Road at Lake Murray Boulevard, an accident. Also, Old Cherokee at Old Chapin. Sharp Road at Wilson Boulevard. And one more to let you know about, that's Highway 378 near Pineview Drive. And your forecast, 75 today, sunny skies, 71 tomorrow with some afternoon or evening showers. Those are going to roll into Wednesday morning. 75 the high before that cool front comes in for Thursday and Friday, and really into the weekend will be more about 60 for a couple days. Windy and cool with overnight lows into the 30s. But sitting right now at 47 currently on 107.5 The Game.
Nine o'clock on your Monday morning is a Reaction Monday. Tyler Head, Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark. We are live out at Firehouse Subs in Newberry, going up until noon. Come by and see us. Plenty to talk about this morning after South Carolina puts together another impressive victory in dramatic fashion, pulling off the win over the Missouri Tigers on Saturday night at Williams-Brice Stadium. And guys, I know I've only been here seeing games in person for 2 years, but that took the cake for the best environment or best moment that I've seen so far.
That was...
Yeah, I guess we have plenty to talk about, Jack.
For sure.
Jack is so ready to talk about it. I'm going to give the floor to you, Jack. What did you see on Saturday, man?
Well, thank you, Wes. I really appreciate it. I didn't even realize you were there this morning. Well, hope you guys are all doing well. Sorry I couldn't be with you, but
at least I came to the right spot, Jack.
Well, you know, it's busy being me, I suppose. But anyway, look, this game was absolutely electric. I know these guys feel the same way. Look, is this not like the epitome of South Carolina football? Like you feel like you're out of it, and then you get back in front, and then you're out of it again, and then most times it's like South Carolina doesn't win these games. Like it made me think of 2014 against Missouri, where South Carolina blew a 2-score lead and ended up losing that game by 1 point, but South Carolina found another gear at the end of the game, and it wasn't necessarily the defense that saved the day. I mean, yeah, they made the nice plays at the end of the game, but it was the offense that came through when the team needed it most, and that's what stands out most about Saturday.
Yeah, and I think if you are going to have a great team, then you have to accept sometimes you're not going to have your best. Like the areas of your team that you normally lean on, maybe they have a bad matchup or a down day, and if you're just built on offense or just built on defense, then when those days happen, you lose those games. And I think there's no better example of South Carolina's progress as a team this year than what we saw out of the offense on Saturday. Not just winning a game where your defense is playing great and your job is to just go out there and kind of move the ball and not have as much pressure on you, but having the ability to actually go win the game. And, we'll get into, I think we'll probably do an entire segment on Lenoris, so I'll save that. But, I mean, just in general, your offense going out there kind of, saving the day. Like, I think that's a good way to say it. I mean, I think we're a little bit almost numb. Like, how many, because we have access to hundreds of football games now on a week-to-week basis, and then you're scrolling through Twitter, you see all the big plays from other games, right? We see game-winning drives all the time. But how often do you have an opportunity to sit there, if you're a South Carolina fan, to sit in your home stadium against an SEC opponent and have that game-winning drive opportunity and then actually see your team go out and do it really twice. You had 2 fourth-quarter game-winning drives, or what could have been game-winning drives, back-to-back from your offense after the offense had kind of hit a little bit of a lull in the drives prior to that. So, like, how many times do you really, truly get to see that in person with your team? And that's why you stay in those moments. For every time you've sat there and watched your team not come through, to see your team actually come through in those moments is why you're a sports fan. It's why you're a college football fan. It's why you care about any of this stuff. So what an awesome moment. And I want it, by the way, we're at Firehouse Subs in Newberry here. I want for people to weigh in on the Firehouse Subs text line.
And Love Chevrolet phone line.
And Love Chevrolet phone line. 404-6100.
Correct.
You text that too, right?
Yes, you can. Okay. Same number, both ways.
Yeah, I want them to text in.
Here's a reaction Monday.
Yeah, text in. Tell me your reaction when Rocket scored, and tell me, and be honest. Be honest. Tell us if you left the game or you changed the channel. Because we had a couple of people on Gamecock Central who had not a reaction Monday but a confession Sunday, and they said, guys, I got to get this off my chest. I left. I walked out. So I want to be honest with yourself. This is Confession Monday now, too. But also, what was your reaction? Like, we got the thing setting off the seismograph?
Allegedly. I'm still trying to confirm if that was true or not.
I'm not.
I mean, I can believe it. I know it happened at LSU one time. So it can happen.
Yeah.
I just want to get a second confirmation on that before I believe what's on Twitter.
I think there's a lot of I feel like there's more people who are also confessing. We'll do our Sellers segment, like you said, Les. At least one Sellers segment. But
3 hours on the
3 hours on the North Sellers. But there are people also confessing on Gamecock Central over the weekend, like, yeah, maybe I should have given him more than 2 games, 1 game, 1 quarter, whatever it may have been, because he's pretty special. I think it's a great point that you made, Wes, about